Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Good evening. Happy Friday. And welcome into our flag football officiating training for 2022. First and foremost, I want to thank those of you who are coming on and doing this with us last minute. We really appreciate you helping out given the situation that transpired. So without further ado, we're going to go through some training. I'm going to touch on some rules. Feel free as you're watching, if you have questions, you can type them in the chat. Bill is monitoring the chat. We will get the question asked and answered as we go through this. You're going to get a lot of information in a short amount of time. Rest assured, though, that everything I'm giving you tonight will be on your cheat sheet cards that you will get from your site president when you show up on Sunday morning to officiate your ball games. Okay. If you want a copy of the actual rule book, any of the high school kids, coaches obviously should have them, presidents should have them. At the end of the presentation, my email will be on there. Shoot me an email. We will get you an actual copy of the rule book. All right. So let's get right into it here. Give me 1 second to pull something up. Okay. All right, so general rules. Again, this is all going to be on your flag cards that you will get this weekend. Okay. So all of our games are 7-on-7. Okay. The field size is adjusted. We're working on a smaller field. We're working on a 60 by 30 field. Okay. So everything's 7-on-7. All possessions will start at the 5-yard line. Okay, we will get into the one exception to that. All right, so if we have one team going one direction, they turn the ball over, then it will start at the 5-yard line going the other way for the other team on a turnover on downs. Okay. You get 4 downs to cross midfield. Okay, what you're going to see on the field is colored cones. Okay, we have no run zones, which we'll get into that. That'll be a one color. You'll have your pylons that'll equal your midfield, and then you'll have your 5 yards from the end zone and 5 yards from midfield. It'll be different color pylons. Okay. Make sure, guys, too, we make sure everybody has a mouthpiece in. That's a requirement. Okay, they must have a mouthpiece, and they cannot wear any jewelry. Okay. If a team fails to score across midfield and 4 downs, the other team gets the ball at their 5-yard line. So keep in mind, you only get 1 first down throughout your possession. So you got 4 downs to get to midfield. Once you get to midfield and you cross midfield or get to the midfield stripe, then you get a new set of downs, and then you have 4 downs to score. If you fail to do that within that time, it's a turnover on downs. Okay? Ball carrier may not spin, dive, hurdle, stiff arm, or shield flags. We're going to get into this discussion a little bit more about shielding flags and what goes with that. All right, forward progress is where the flag is pulled. So once a player pulls the flag, where that flag has been pulled is where the ball is dead. Okay, and any coaches or presidents that are in on this, if you just instruct the players to lay the flag where they pull it, that will help the referees spot the ball. Okay, make sure referees are always spotting the ball in the middle of the field. Again, the width of the field is significantly shorter than a high school or than a regular football field, so we want to make sure we're always starting that series in the middle of the field. Okay. All right, and again, ball is spotted center of the field on all plays. All right, getting into the timing and scoring. This is important, guys, and what's more important on the scoring is the extra point. All right, so we'll get into the timing.
We got one question.
Sure.
No pass zone is from the 40-yard line to the 35-yard line and the 5-yard line to end zone. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. So 5 yards before midfield, and then 5 yards into the end zone.
Make sure that we're clear, midfield is actually represented between the 40 and the 50, not at the 50. So
Correct. So there will be guys, again, the field should be set up with a pylon in the middle of the field. That will indicate your midfield, middle of the field, okay, since we're not using chains, all right? So that pylon will indicate that. You should have a separate color cone 5 yards in front of that. That will be your no-run zone, okay? And we'll talk about no-run zones here shortly. And then, again, there'll be a different color cone at your 5 yard line before you get into the end zone, okay? And, again, in the rule book, there's a diagram of this. I should have put that diagram in here to kind of help you guys, but we do have diagrams of that, okay? Timing and scoring. Games will consist of 4 10-minute quarters. One question that came up to me is at the end of each quarter, are we switching sides like we do in regular football? And the answer to that is yes, okay? You will flip sides at the end of each quarter, okay, as opposed to half. So first quarter you're going one way, second quarter you're going another way, and then you'll get a choice, and we'll talk about that. Make sure, high school kids, you have a coin with you. You need to have a coin to start the game. You will flip to determine first possession, okay? The team that wins the toss will have the choice of offense, defense, or which side they wish to defend, okay? That's a simple, and they may also defer their choice the second half, okay? So you can defer, go offense or defense, all right? Those of you that are officiating, you and your players, and if you've ever been to the captain's meeting, you know the referees won't let somebody, a captain, mess that up. So we ask that you don't too. If a kid says we want to play defense, maybe walk through with the coach before the coin toss what they want to do if they win. In most cases, they want to defer their choice to second half, okay? The rule of thumb in officiating is don't allow a team to kick off twice, okay, which we don't kick off. So it's important we know the coin toss procedures, all right? Again, 4 10-minute quarters. You switch at the end of each quarter. Last 2 minutes of each half, the clock stops on all dead ball whistles, okay? So what do we mean by that? Incomplete pass. Runner goes out of bounds, okay? Change of possession, okay? The clock will stop and does not start until the snap, okay? You guys will be keeping the time on your wristwatch, so make sure you have one. Just make sure you stop and start it. Make sure you're announcing how much time is left. So typically what I do in flag football is I'll say, we have 6 minutes left, or I'll let them know at 5 minutes, and then as we get inside 2 minutes, then I will let them know every 30 seconds how much time is left, okay, in case they want to burn timeouts, things of that nature. Each team is allowed 2 30-second timeouts per half, no carryover, okay? So if you don't use it in the first half, they lose it basically, and they get 2 more in the half. All right, guys, the other thing we got to keep track of is the 30-second play clock on the ready for play. So as referees, once we blow that whistle ready for play, okay, and put the ball ready for play, the team has 30 seconds from that point to get out of their huddle, get to the line, and call that play. Okay, once the ball is snapped, we don't have to worry about delay a game. 5-minute halftime. Okay, overtime. There's no time on the clock. Each team's allowed an offensive set of downs. Okay, we keep going until we score. So if Team A scores on their first set of downs, okay, if they score, then the next team has an opportunity. If they score, then we just keep going back and forth, okay? 1 timeout per overtime. So each overtime you go, they get an additional 30-second timeout, okay? So if you go 3 overtimes, they get 3 additional timeouts each team, okay? Again, 4 downs to score. All right, now here's what I want us to pay attention to, okay? This doesn't change. Touchdowns, 6 points, that's standard football. Okay, this is what we have to pay attention to. As referees, you need to ask the coach, are you going for 1 point or 2 point? Because that dictates where the ball gets placed for extra points. Okay, if they say they're going for 1 point, the ball gets put at the 5 yard line and they must pass the ball there because they're in the no-run zone. If they want to go for 2 points, the ball gets put at the 12 yard line and they can run or pass from either one of those, okay, or from the 12-yard line, okay? So if they go for 2, they can run or pass. If they go for 1, they have to pass the football, okay? And again, just some bullet points touching on that. All right, getting into passing and receiving. All passes must be forward and cross the line of scrimmage, all right? We do not allow lateral passes. What we do allow is a shovel pass, assuming that shovel pass gets across the line of scrimmage. It must clear the line of scrimmage and be forward, okay? We can't pitch it to our side, and we can't lateral back, but we can shovel pass forward. That is legal, okay, and that is allowed in our flag rules, okay? If you have a team that throws and the defense intercepts, okay, they are allowed. This is the only exception to not starting on the 5-yard line. If a team intercepts the ball at midfield, they get the ball at midfield, okay? All other change of possessions, so turnover on downs, fumbles, all of that goes back to the 5-yard line, and they go, interceptions, they take over from the spot they intercepted, okay? All offensive players are eligible for a pass, including the quarterback, okay? Understand that while we don't allow laterals or pitches, a quarterback can hand off to somebody like it's a run and then go out for a pass. That is allowed. One defensive player may blitz the quarterback. They must be 7 yards off of the line of scrimmage. Okay? As referees, and this is in another slide, the referees need to set up 7 yards off the line of scrimmage to show the defense where their blitzer is allowed to be from. Anybody in front of you is not allowed to blitz. If they do, that's a foul. We'll get into that later. Okay? Anybody that's even with you or behind you as a referee, those guys, one of those players are allowed to blitz. Okay? After 7 seconds, anybody can rush. Okay? Keep in mind that if a quarterback is blitzed or rushed, they cannot run. They have to still pass the ball. Okay? So if they run, that's an illegal play, and we flag that. All right, our no-run zone. 5 yards from midfield, 5 yards from the scoring end zone. Okay, and again, keep in mind when I say midfield, midfield is set up on our 60 by 30 field. So you're looking for the orange pylon to set you will have pylons for your end zones. You will have pylons for your midfield. You will have cones to separate your no-run zones. Okay, so 5 yards from midfield, 5 yards from the scoring end zone. Okay, ball must be passed from these zones. Okay, referees remind coaches once we get into those no-run zones. So what we do at the high school level in flag football is once we get to that no-run zone, we'll say, Coach, we're in a no-run zone, or we'll just say no-run zone. Okay, just remind them so that they can get their play in and out of the huddle. We have a question.
Get a clarification on the fumble.
Sure.
The understanding from somebody in our chat was that it was supposed to be a dead ball.
It is. It's a dead ball. So if it's a coach or a president asking, if you go on the updated rule book on page 10, it's Rule 4, Section 3, A. It says a ball fumbled by the runner is dead when it hits the ground and remains in possession of the offensive team, okay, unless it is fourth down. All right, so again, the only way that the defense is going to get that ball on a fumble is on fourth down, and in which case it will go to the 5-yard line and go in that way. Okay, so hopefully that clears that up. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Larry.
All right, perfect. All right, so referees, again, be mindful of this here. Be mindful that when you get in the no-run zones, just remind the coaches, right? They got a lot going on. Okay, our coaches have been working hard with these kids. They've been sending questions in to our board. They've been sending questions in to myself. So they're trying to get an understanding for the rules. Understand that while it's new for your referees, this particular rule book is new for our coaches, so we all need to work together. Just remind them, hey, coach, we're in a no-run zone. Remind them so that they can get their pass play in, okay? On extra points, any ball snapped from the 5-yard line must be a pass, okay? And that's very important. We understand that. It's very important we enforce that, okay? All right. I do want to touch on, so I'm kind of going back and forth here, guys, on a couple things. In the event that we have an inadvertent whistle, okay, the team in possession of the ball may choose to accept the result of the play at the point where the play was blown dead or replay the down, okay? So if for whatever reason, and it can happen, right? It happens to veteran officials, and it may happen with, obviously, our high school or younger officials. If we have an inadvertent whistle, understand, referees, what the choices are, okay? The choice is the offended team, so it'll be the team on offense, gets the choice of having the play end where the inadvertent whistle happened or replay the down, okay? So let's understand that. That's very important, okay? Again, coaches, don't get in an uproar. I understand that we get competitive, but let's try and work through some of these things. And as always, coaches and officials, if you have questions, ask me. I've got, thankfully, 2 weeks of baseball season left, and then I will be way more accessible than I have been. So,
can we clarify the no run zone just one more time?
Yeah. Bill, are you able to put this part of the rule book up on the screen or no? Is that not possible right now?
It's not possible
Okay.
right this moment.
Okay.
I can get it up there at the conclusion.
Okay. So, guys, let's talk about that at the end of the meeting because I want to put this diagram up that's in our rule book. I think that will better help that visual for you guys to understand kind of what we're talking about there, okay? And I apologize. I should have went in the rule book and cropped this out and put it into the presentation to better explain that. But we will get that up, and then we'll talk through that, okay? So that's a good question. And I want to make sure everybody understands that so we're 100% clear on that before we get through this. And I believe my understanding is, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, this is going to be available, right, this presentation that coaches and officials can go back and watch. Is that correct?
We are recording this presentation, and it will be provided. Whether or not I'll be able to email it probably is unlikely, but I will have to meet up with the presidents and give them a digital copy.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so getting into the penalties, all right, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this, guys. So offensively, you have penalties before the snap that are 5 yards and the downs remains the same. Delay a game, false start, and illegal motion, okay? So obviously, false start, delay a game, we know those. Illegal motion is just that, okay? You get two guys in motion, or you get a motion man that cuts up to the line prior to the snap. We shut that down. Now, with us putting the referee, and my suggestion is going to be this, guys. Referees set the 7 yards for the defense, and then get yourself in a position where you could see a false start or an illegal motion, okay? So those are going to be, we're going to blow those dead immediately. No play is going to go. The down remains the same, and we're going to go 5 yards from where the ball was spotted. So if we're at the 5-yard line, you're going half the distance. If you're at the 10-yard line, you're going back to the 5. Okay, pretty simple stuff. Okay, and again, if you have questions, please ask so that we can make sure we are clear on this. Okay. All right, on offense, penalties during the play that are 10 yards from the line of scrimmage and a loss of down, okay? That's very, very important we understand this, okay? Any 10-yard penalty on the offense will be a loss of down. Flag guarding is the big one, okay? Illegal backward pass, illegal forward pass, illegal contact, illegal procedure. Basically, a quarterback run is what we consider illegal procedure. Okay, and intentional grounding, and then offensive pass interference. All of those against the offense are 10-yard penalties, okay, and they require a loss of down. Now, on your On your card, you have a mini version of that. In the rule book, we have it listed a little bit more in length, okay? So again, any of our high school kids that want a copy of the rule book, please get with us or get with your local president. They also have copies that they can forward you, or we can forward it to you from our desk here in the league office, okay? So all those are going to be 10 yards, loss it down. And again, it's penalized from where the snap happened. So it's important that we understand where the snap happened. So, maybe if you as the referee, you're saying that the snap's on the 12-yard line, you got to know 10 yards from there, okay? Things of that nature. So we always got to know where we start at to enforce our penalties, okay? Defensively, okay, our 5-yard penalties and the down remains the same as offsides, okay? In the neutral zone, in or beyond the neutral zone at the snap, okay? So if they jump in or they jump beyond at the snap or prior to the snap, we shut it down. It's 5 yards and the down remains the same. You go 5 yards forward, it will remain first or second down. All right. Defensive penalties during the play that results in 10 yards and an automatic first down, okay, is going to be illegal contact, an illegal flag pull. What we mean by an illegal flag pull is if the defense pulls the flag prior to a receiver catching the football, okay? If they do that, that is illegal, and we need to penalize that and enforce that, okay? Illegal rushing, all right, rushing the quarterback inside 7 yards, okay? So if there's somebody that's inside the 7 yards and they rush prior to the 7 seconds, then that's an illegal rush. We need to flag that, okay? Town presidents, if and it's gonna be too late for me to get them for this week, but if you would like me to order flags for you guys to have for your officials, I can order. Just send me how many you want, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. I will put a bulk order in Monday or Tuesday. I can even wait as late as Wednesday to get those here for next week's games. And if we need whistles as well, just let me know what you need. I'll get a bulk order in, and we can get those to those officials, okay? All right, and then defensive pass interference, that's obviously self-explanatory, okay? Bill, do we have any questions or comments there?
Not yet.
Okay, perfect. All right, so almost all you guys will work at some point throughout the day, the 6U division. I believe the way the schedule is set up is our 6U division is playing about midday, so about 11:45-ish is when our 6U play. We do have special rules for those guys. This was sent out to our presidents and voted upon and then adopted at our right before, right after, or right on our last president's meeting, okay? So we've eliminated the no-run zones in 6U, okay? So in 6U, you can forget about the no-run zone, okay? They can run anywhere on the field, okay? They are allowed to still pass, but they don't have to in those zone-specific areas of the field, okay? Defenders may not rush the passer unless there's a legal handoff. So should a 6U player decide that a quarterback's going to drop back, no matter where they're at on the field, no matter if it's been 7 seconds, they are not allowed to rush the passer. Again, we want to encourage those kids to pass if they can, okay? One coach permitted on the field and must be off the field prior to the snap. Again, shouldn't be too terribly hard because of the short width of our field, okay? And again, referees, let's not nitpick this, right? If the snap happens and the coach is close enough to the sideline, let's not nitpick it, okay? Understand we're dealing with 5- and 6-year-olds, and they have one speed, and that speed is go now, okay? So if we see that a coach hasn't completely gotten off the field, we're not going to penalize that, okay? If during the snap the ball falls to the ground, it is whistled dead and considered a do-over, okay, with no loss of down the first time. A second consecutive snap, that then the down is consumed. So if we get a snap And on the first one, the quarterback fumbles it. We shut it down. We reset the ball at the previous line of scrimmage, okay? And it's like nothing ever happened. If they fumble it a second time in a row, then we shut it down and we spot the ball there, and they consume the down. So if it's first down, then when you go to second down, and so on and so forth. So essentially they have 2 tries. Okay, again, we got a lot of kids in our 6U division that are learning the game for the first time. They got small hands. Things do happen at that level, but our hope is that they get snaps off. And to my understanding, we didn't have many problems with this week 1. Okay. I am going to touch on some general officiating philosophies. And again, if we have any questions on anything in the rule book as we go through this, please let me know. One thing I do want to touch on before I get into the officiating philosophies, okay? Unsportsmanlike conduct. Guys, keep in mind flag football, while there's going to be some contact, it's supposed to be no contact, okay? Any unsportsmanlike conduct will not be tolerated. That includes taunting, rough play, unnecessary rough play, profanity, whether it be from a player or a coach, disrespecting or making contact with game officials, failure to comply with equipment and uniform requirements, taunting, any act that attempts to focus attention on the player, and then obviously if we spit on an official or an opponent, okay? Again, believe it or not, many years ago, I was a high school kid officiating Pop Warner, and I understand it can be at 14, 15, 16, 17, it can be somewhat intimidating, and we just need you to go in and enforce the rules and enforce the game. Don't be afraid to throw a flag. You will always get backed from me. You will get back from Bill if we receive phone calls about it. Jim Ryan, our football commissioner, is somebody else you may hear from. But if you have to eject somebody, you're going to get the backing from us. Understand that there is a process if you eject, which again in flag we're hoping doesn't happen. And that process is you need to send an email to myself and or a text right away letting me know you had an ejection, who it was, what level, things like that, and what the game was. You know, what your game time was, where you were at, what field. We've got the schedule. We can then look at the teams. And then if obviously each player is numbered, but you may need to get a coach's name or number. And again, the site president or if there is a league official there, they will help you kind of corral that, and that's going to be in our general officiating philosophies here. Okay. Quarterbacks cannot run at any time. Okay. The minute that they have the ball and they start now, they can, when I say run, I mean once they get beyond the line of scrimmage, you got to shut that down. Now, we're not going to stop them if they're running laterally to the line, right? They can do that. Okay. They can move out. Okay. And they can flush out of the pocket. They can keep running, parallel with the line. Okay, to find an open receiver. The minute that they cross that line, that now is a quarterback run. That is not allowed, okay? Again, quarterbacks may hand off and go out for a pass. All right, guys, this is a big one. So one of the biggest complaints that I heard from last week was flag guarding, okay? If a receiver or a runner has the ball and they're running and somebody goes to reach for their flag and they slap the hand off the flag, that's considered flag guarding. We need to flag that, okay? If it is imperative, and it's extremely important, referees, that we make these kids tuck any shirt that they have on in their shorts or their pants, and the flag is outside of that, okay? Should we get a ridiculously cold day like we've had, okay, they may wear sweatshirts. All that's got to be tucked in so that the flag can be strapped correctly. Remember, they only have 2 flags. They're on each hip, so they don't have that third one in the back. We need to make sure everything is tucked in and that they're not flag guarding that, okay? Again, some of the reports I got back was a runner or a receiver was slapping a hand away. Okay, while the rule book doesn't specifically say that, that is considered flag guarding, and that's something we will update in the rule book for next season. So if you see a receiver or a runner slap the hand of the defender to keep him from getting his flag, we need to flag that, okay? Player safety is our number one priority, guys, okay? Again, it's football, especially in passing plays, we're going to have some contact. What we don't want is the unnecessary stuff, the stuff that's going to get players hurt, okay? When those type of things happen, we have to flag that. If you feel like it's needs to be an unsportsmanlike, they get 2, okay, unless it's a flagrant unsportsmanlike where you immediately eject them, okay? So don't be afraid to give an unsportsmanlike. Most of our coaches are good about if you talk to them. If you throw a flag, they will ask you what happened, okay? Explain to them exactly what you saw, okay? Don't give any feeling into it. Don't give any you thought. Just tell them exactly what you saw. And, coach, this is unsportsmanlike, okay? An unsportsmanlike foul, coaches, for any of our coaches watching, that is completely a judgment call on the official. They have guidelines in the rule book to help them, but if they deem it unsportsmanlike, then it's an unsportsmanlike foul, and we're not going to take that back, okay? We're going to allow their judgment on that based on the guidelines they have in the rule book and they have on their cards. We're going to allow them to make that judgment. We're not going to review anything like we did in the fall, any of that. If they get deemed for an unsportsmanlike, it is what it is. The officials' calls are going to stand there, okay? Again, we're erring on the side of player safety. Referees, if you have issues with coaches or fans, you seek the association president at your site to handle that situation, okay? If there is a league representative there, they can also help you. If a league representative shows up, they will likely be in the navy blue polo that I'm wearing, similar to this, that will say official on it. They will likely have their badge on as well. They can also help you with those situations. League presidents, we ask that if you are asked to have a conversation with a coach or a fan, or to remove a coach or a fan, that gets done. Again, I don't foresee many problems. I just don't. But if we have that situation, we're asking you guys to step in and help these guys out, okay? Again, we can send this out, but Munster, I believe, is Chuck Mamich is the president there. South Lake is John Gilbert. Michigan City will be Teddy. Thank you, Teddy Solar. Where's our other site? Tri-Town will be Rudy. Valpo will be Rocco. And if Rocco is not there, we are leaving Amy in charge. Okay? But Rocco should be there. All right? And I'm missing a site. Maryville. Thank you. Eric Jackson at Maryville will be in charge there. Okay? All of those individuals are great individuals. They will help us out. We have had no problems in the past of talking to them. They've done a nice job of helping us handle things outside the fence. Referees, what I don't want you to get involved in is stuff outside the fence. I want your focus to be on the playing field, okay? Anything off the playing field, if you have a problem with a parent, okay, you go find the president, let them handle that. You focus your attention on the field, okay? 9 times out of 10, your presidents or your board members at those particular towns have a heads up already, and they have already handled stuff, okay? I do know some of our towns, I don't know if they're doing it in the spring, but a lot of our towns hire security in the fall, and most of those cops are well ahead of some of those problem people before we even have to step in, okay? So again, if there's something you don't like as a referee, bring it to the attention of the president. You can stop the game. You can ask for the president. Make them aware of what you don't like that's outside the field, okay? And then let them handle it. Go back to playing the game, okay? Don't get involved with anything outside the field. Let our presidents handle that, okay? Bill, we have any questions there?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Perfect. Amy, Bill, am I missing anything I need to go over that from the first week? Did I miss something there?
As far as
Just any rules or anything like that? Any questions or concerns? Okay, remember, guys, on formations, only one player is allowed in motion on the offensive team, okay? And it's got to be even with the line of scrimmage. If they're in motion and they go towards the line of scrimmage at the snap, that is a foul, okay? Presidents, as you're watching this, if there's something I'm missing, please type it in the chat for Bill to get to me, and we will take care of that. One thing that I do need to cover as I'm going through the rule book, screen blocking. Okay, I'm not sure how much of it's been done yet, but screen blocking is legal. Okay, as long as there is no contact made. Okay, so the best way I can explain it, guys, is they have to have their hands at their side. Okay, and it's like a basketball screen. Okay, they can set like that basketball screen with their hands at their side. That is legal until contact is made, and then it becomes a foul. Okay, and screen blocking is the only form of legal blocking that can be used by a player. So the traditional going out and blocking somebody downfield with your hands out, that's not allowed. But you can screen block as long as there's no contact. Okay. And they may move laterally or backwards 2 steps to keep that block. So referees understand that. If you see it again with just one referee, we're not going to see a lot of this stuff. But if you do see it, what you're looking for there is contact. If there is no contact and the hands aren't out, it's a legal screen block. Okay. So closing thoughts for our high school kids that are working our spring flag season, okay? If you are interested in officiating in the fall, get with me, okay? We are going to set up, we're going to do it via Zoom, training class similar to this. They're going to go over 6 weeks. We're going to watch some video. We're going to go through rules in the rule book to football, along with our little age-specific rules that Pop Warner has, okay? That will be over 6 weeks. Most likely Sunday nights, okay? It will not interfere with any of your practices you've got going on with your high school teams, as well as all of our games in the fall. To my knowledge, it's going to stay this way or played on Sundays, so it will not interfere with any of your playing time. And then we are also going to compensate you at a rate of $40 a game, so you can make some money. It's a good fall job. We'll work you as many games as you want to work. If you want to work 4 or 5 games in a day, you'll make $160, $200 on a Sunday. We're more than happy to do that. We have several already in the program. We have one that has graduated from the program and actually has his high school license. And we are in the process with this grassroots program of the IHSA just came out with a what they're calling a provisional license. And so what we are trying to do is get you guys that provisional license through the IHSAA so that you have some coverage there. And then once you then graduate from high school, then we can get you tested to have your regular license. Okay, so if you're interested in that, please shoot me an email. Okay, there is my email right there. So if you're interested in officiating this fall and getting into that training class, I'm probably, guys, going to start that June or July. And then what I'm going to encourage our grassroots officials to do is come to our regional meeting that we're going to have in July so that you can get a lot of information at that. We're going to give a ton of information there that will make you a better official as well. But high school guys, what I found out in talking with our grassroots officials is they've actually become better football players by doing this because they're learning a different aspect of the game, okay? So if you are looking for a job during school, but you're a football player, we only play on Sundays, and you can tell me, yes, you want to work these Sundays, or no, you don't. We'll get you in the program, and we'll get you working, okay? Again, thanks, guys, for helping out this spring. It's greatly appreciated. I would have, if I would have known we were going to have an issue prior to last week, then I would have not given you this crash course right away and then said, here you go, go out and trial by fire type thing. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or you have a situation you got into while you're officiating, please shoot me an email, or all of the town presidents that you will be working for have my cell phone number. Please feel free to send me a text message, give me a call, and we will get you an answer as best as we can. If the presidents email me or Bill, then between the two of us, we will get something answered between myself, Bill, and Edmund Griffin. Edmund will be our other gentleman that will be able to get some questions answered. And usually if those two guys aren't 100% sure, they will reach out to me and we will get this clarified, okay? And last but not least, have fun, right? That's what the spring's for, is to have fun. And we appreciate what you guys are doing right now with us. Okay, Bill, any questions on that?
We're going to go ahead and bring up the no run zone
Yep.
diagram. If you want to go ahead and pull that up on yours, because you're not going to be able to see it from here.
Okay, you have it up on there though?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
have it up
perfect.
on here. Yep, and it's up. If you'd like to
Okay.
go ahead and kind of
So,
another rundown and clarification of that.
yep. So what you'll see on your screen, guys, is the diagram of the no run zone. Okay. So we have arrows indicating which way they are. Okay. So if we're looking at the screen from left to right, your first no run zone will be that 5 yards before midfield. Okay. Then the second one will be the 5 yards right before the end zone. Okay. Going from right to left, it's just the opposite, and you see there the arrows on how the field is set up, okay? So if you want to take a picture of that, that is in the rule book. Again, referees, if you want this rule book with this diagram, please get with me and we will get you this rule book. But this rule book should be on site with every president, at least for this weekend, so that you can refer back to anything in the rule book that's not covered on your little cards. Okay, so hopefully seeing this diagram will help. If it's on your screen now, I encourage you to take a picture of that just so you can understand it. Coaches and presidents, this is in your rule book, so this shouldn't be new to you guys. Okay, and you see at the bottom there where the cones are. So you're in your end zone. You'll have your pylons on each side for the goal line in the end zone. Then you'll have a cone. One color cone setting your no run zone going in. You'll have a color cone, same color cone at midfield, and then your pylon in between those. Okay, so that's kind of crash course, guys. Any other questions, Bill, that are in the feed right now?
No, it does not appear that we have any other questions.
Okay, guys, if you have questions, again, take my email down. Get with your presidents. They can get a hold of myself, Bill, or Edmund. We'll get questions answered for you. So if there's nothing else, guys, I appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you on the field here over the next few weeks.
All right, thank you, guys. That will be concluding our stream. Appreciate you all coming in, and we need to have this electronically. I will have this sent out to our presidents shortly, or you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Thank you, guys.